They sling the dirt, and at times at each other. It's Stremme and Stremme on Slingin' Dirt, presented by Hercules Tire. Here are David and Ashley.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Happy Tuesday, y'all. That's a great opener. I love it. Slinging dirt and slinging at each other.
You have thrown dirt at me.
Oh, whatever. You're crazy. I use my hands, as you would say.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious. You're listening to Slingin' Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires. We have an awesome lineup today for you, and a really cool fact about today's guests. All of them have a 50%, well, 48 to 50% win ratio to how many races they've already ran this year. This year,
okay.
Yep. Uh-huh. So our first guest joining us is Josh Richards. He's our Gator Nationals champion. I think he's won 7 out of the 15 races that he's been in so far.
He was hot in Florida.
He was, absolutely.
And Georgia.
And everywhere else he's been. Our second guest is Ricky Thornton Jr. He's had a stellar 2016 already. And last but certainly not least, Tony Jackson Jr. He is your toilet bowl winner at Clarksville, Tennessee this weekend.
I'm going to give you a quick fact about him.
Tell me.
He's an ex-asphalt racer.
I have that in my notes, honey.
Okay. I just thought that was cool.
Did you do notes today, or did you know that from your past?
I know that.
Oh, okay. I was like, dang.
I do have some notes here.
Yeah,
I mean, a few, so... No, you can't read it.
Yeah, I can't really.
I know, that's good. But anyways, we went Sunday to Cherokee Speedway in the big town of Gaffney, South Carolina. Watched Chris Madden put on a really good show. It was in a day, so you couldn't really expect a lot of passing. But Casey Roberts was right there. It actually got pretty tricky, I thought, a few times in traffic. And I was pretty proud because I periscoped the whole thing. I was a little, I don't know. It actually made it more exciting because fans were writing and doing all kinds of stuff. But anyways, Chris Ferguson run third. A lot of different guys. Overton was there. He was kind of battling up through there. But the track was interesting. It was
a day race.
So
I think it's enough said.
But with that being said, the only thing, and I went there as a spectator. I'm like, hey, I wanted to go and kind of relax. And my wife loved, I called them the pony cars, but the little four-cylinders.
Those things were amazingly fun to watch.
And they were.
They put it on a good show.
They were.
Although the first heat only got 1 lap.
Well, and that's the thing, my point.
Green flag, and then they took the checkered because the time limit, I believe, was
There was no time limit.
Oh, there wasn't? Oh,
no,
okay.
that was a problem. That was my point of where I tweeted. I was like, I hate going to a racetrack, and I don't know how many of you fans or even racers that you go, and I wish promoters would just sit in the seat and realize how long it takes. Like, we're sitting here, and they're trying to run this heat race, and
they kept wrecking.
I'm like,
every single lap.
Yeah, I was like, I'd put a time limit on this, whatever
but
it is.
They were enjoyable
average,
to watch.
But it was just terrible. Then this guy in a four-wheeler wanted to run around on the track and just look really cool. But
hey, they're still racing races, and that's the important
part. I will
part.
say this, though. Packed house.
It was, absolutely.
The infield was packed, a lot of cars. The thing is that it showed me a lot of people were wanting to go racing. I mean, they're excited. We see it on social media, all the new wraps and colors. And the funny thing is like you said, a lot of our guests already been racing, this year. So, it's something that was really cool to go watch and do. And, of course, Chris Madden won both Saturday and Sunday. It was racing there, and then we had the toilet bowl. Obviously, we have one of the winners on. Dennis Erb Jr. had won on Friday night. Josh Harris picked up a modified win on Saturday. I don't remember. I think it was I don't think Lucas Lee. I know Lucas Lee was there, Trent Young. There's a lot of really good modified guys. I was slipping because I was watching USMTS modified racing, where both it was really phenomenal to watch, and you had Stormy, who was obviously running up front. You had Jason Hughes, you had Ryan Gustin, and then you had Rodney, and Rodney won 2 nights there. Gustin won 1, but it was interesting to watch that track they were at, Southern Oklahoma Speedway. You had about 8 laps to kind of really pass cars, and then it went to about a 1-lane track, or they call rubbered up. But the heat races were phenomenal. They had great highlights. Jimmy Owens was out there running another car, teammate Derek Ramirez, and it's interesting because Jimmy told us he was going to run a modified some more, so that was really cool.
Yes. I tweeted about Delaware restarts, and
I hate them.
We neither of us are fond of the Delaware restarts. Mr. Postman, Steve Post. He is a fan of them. We would love to hear your thoughts. If you go ahead and tweet us at Slingin Dirt, we'd like to hear your thoughts on the Delaware restart. I did, Chip Stevens tweeted in, and he told me that the man's name was Charlie Cathell, and he was the Delaware promoter who started the Delaware. I don't even know.
I'm going to give you 2 reasons I don't like them.
Oh, boy.
One, if you're going to do restarts, double them up. Let
Yes.
the leader choose where they're going to be.
Inside or outside, absolutely.
The second is a leader can dictate so much, but he can also be a sitting duck. It depends on how they're officiating, but just start them double file if you're going to do it, or start them single file. That Delaware is just whatever.
Hey, I just realized that I think we agreed on something.
Yeah, for once.
Mark that down on the calendar, folks. That doesn't happen often.
Yeah, tweet us what your thoughts are on that. Also, we have in 2 weeks, I know everybody up north is ready to get racing. I should say in the Midwest. Fall Brawl's coming up, 25th, 26th, LaSalle Speedway. I know it's a big race. Kenny Wallace is going. I know Schrader's going. Stephen Brooks. There's a lot of people that'll be up there. And the cool thing is, I was checking this out on their Facebook page. They have where you can buy, because obviously it's still a little chilly up there. You can pay $40 and go into the skybox. And I'm like, that is awesome that they have that option. Obviously, they have general admission. I think it's like 20 or so, and then you can go in the pits. But the skybox idea is great because if you have fans or families, or you just want to get out and just
freeze, but watch some racing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Or some of them don't want to get dirty. We've seen that. How many people you see go to a dirt track for the first time? You're like, look at that guy, I'm like that sometimes. I'm not going to lie. Anyways.
This man loves to vacuum the trailer out 4 times before the end of the night is over. So he is a dirt racer now, but he will always be an asphalt racer at heart. Good Lord.
I hate when it mud racing. And Jason Crone's the one that kind of explained that. And I'm in total agreement with him. I hate when it rains somewhere. I hate when it's muddy because it's just no fun.
Listen, you just like to vacuum. I
don't care.
But you don't do it at home, which is where the problem's at. But
there's only 2 places that it's so dusty, it's very annoying, is Tyler County, West Virginia, and Carolina Speedway. I mean, they are just, they can say what they want. People watch with helmets, if that tells you anything.
Absolutely. A really cool fact coming from the Northeast is Devil's Bowl Speedway. They're doing a really cool deal. They're doing an asphalt crate mod deal and late model deal on Saturdays. And then on Sundays, they're going to race dirt.
Where's this at?
A Devil's Bowl Speedway. Now,
where's that at?
New York, I believe.
Okay.
But it's going to be 2 different tracks under the same.
Wow. So they'll run asphalt one night, dirt on the next.
Yes, exactly. But here's the really cool part: if both tracks will be sanctioned as a NASCAR track.
Okay.
So the crate mods who run the asphalt one night can go race dirt and still gain points towards their NASCAR wheel-in modified deal.
Oh, I don't. Okay.
Okay, you're right. Okay, great.
Let me know how that works out in about 5 months.
When everybody ends up with a torn up race car.
Yes.
I love it. Well, speaking of someone who hasn't torn his stuff up this year, it is Josh Richards, and we'll be back to talk to him here on Slingin Dirt on MRN.com.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
Stay up to date with the latest news from the NASCAR Garage, weekdays on NASCAR Today, midday.
We can enhance the fans' experience, and I think that's what we really need to zero in on and provide.
Hear from the drivers and teams as they chase the 2016 championship trophy.
Change is good in our sport. It re-energizes people, makes everybody, step up to the plate, so to speak.
NASCAR Today, midday, weekdays on the Motor Racing Network, your source for NASCAR news.
It's all over at Martinsville, Virginia. Richard Petty has pulled it off.
Throwback Thursday, classic MRN race broadcasts on MRN.com.
Waltrip will win the track race to turn 3. Earnhardt gets him. Hard into the wall goes Waltrip. Hard goes Earnhardt. Everybody else spins either way.
Out of the number 4 corner down to the line. Neil Bonnet is going to win. The Northwestern Bank 400. He'll beat Waltrip a 2-car length.
What a finish here at North Wilkesboro.
Throwback Thursday, Thursdays at 1 Eastern on MRN.com. This is Slingin' Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
You're listening to Slingin' Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires, and we're the Stremmes. Joining us now is the driver of the number 1 rocket chassis. It is Josh Richards. Welcome back to the show, Josh.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here.
Well, you've had a pretty stellar January, February, I guess it's February, March now. Gator champion, national champion, and I believe you picked up a win at Georgia, correct?
We picked up. We picked 8 wins, including 1 crate race. So we had seven wins, 4 Lucas wins, and 2 Outlaw wins, and another win at Volusia. So it was a phenomenal trip, to say the least.
So where does this rank on the start to the season compared to in past? We had your dad on last week, and I think it was 2013. Was it? He was comparing. He thought was a good year.
Yeah, we have. We've won races in the past in speed weeks. I think in 2009, the year we won the first championship, we won 5 down in Florida. But I mean, nothing. I don't think compares. Those were comparable years, but this year, was just. It was unbelievable. We went into Florida and built new cars and ran them at. Ran it at Charlotte last year for the first time and trying to get a feel for things and. Everyone's working all year long to get faster and to get better and, to unload and to be, quick right off the bat and to be able to win races. We won the first night out at Golden Isle, the opener, and things just kind of kept rolling from there. And I think we ran it at 5 different tracks and we should have won it all. We either won at them or we ran second. So it was, it was an unbelievable trip to have the consistency that we had. And, that you don't get that, very often, if at all. Sometimes you're able to get on rolls and get on streaks, but that was just, a whole another deal. It was a lot of fun, and the guys they worked their tails off all year long, and we finally got our rhythm back down. It kind of took us a year last year, I think, to get everything kind of sorted back out and getting everything that we needed as far as our whole package as a team, making decisions and whether it was our engine stuff or car stuff or shock stuff. It was just last year was kind of a year where we were trying a lot of different things, and I think we just finally put everything together and put it together, and it worked out really well, and it was extremely fun.
Well, when I got to watch some races, it was very fun watching you. The confidence you had in the car, and you could also tell it at the World Finals. But even with the success through Speed Weeks, how hard is it? I think your dad had said you left middle of January, gone that long. I know your wife gets to travel with you on the road, but tell people how grueling it is to race that many races in that short amount of time.
Yeah, a lot of people, don't understand, I guess, what all goes on is, we got back from Charlotte at the end of the year, and we were here at the shop every day, and we have some weekends where we're not doing much, and we had a couple weekends off, but the rest of the time, you're here. I'd go to the gym from 6 to 7 in the morning, be at the shop by 7:15, 7:30, and work till late that night, every single day, just trying to get ready for Florida, and then right when our big snowstorm came, we had planned on leaving on a Saturday. Then that big giant storm came from the East Coast, and I came into work Thursday morning trying to get the cars loaded up and had planned on leaving Saturday, and my wife and I take a camper separately, and it wasn't even ready to go. Well, then that was like 10 o'clock in the morning. By 1 o'clock that afternoon, we decided we needed to leave to get ahead of the snowstorm. So we packed everything up for a month, got the camper ready, loaded everything.
Wow.
And headed and left that day to try to get ahead of the snowstorm. We were gone, I think, 33 or 32 days from the time we left to the time we got back. And the travel alone, I was curious to see, I turned the timer on in my pickup when we left the shop. And you think of driving to Florida and driving back, it's only like 12 or 14 hours. But the rest of the time in between, we logged 102 hours of driving.
Wow.
Just in Florida, just her and I in Florida alone, just traveling in between. There's a lot of stuff that behind the scenes, which every racer understands that, and all the crew guys and this stuff, but people on the outside don't understand what all it takes just to endure the travel and getting to the tracks, let alone everything else that it takes to get prepared. So it's definitely a lot, but it's in the end to be able to race and do what you love to do. It's totally worth it.
Yep.
Absolutely. It's with you talking about that, and after your dad was on last week and he gave us an insight of what actually Rocket and all that brings to the table and how much you're a part of the success of Rocket. You talk about the shop and being there. Are you solely working on your stuff, or is there a larger part that goes into what you do at Rocket Chassis with your father?
My biggest thing is kind of what my role is at the shop, is just keeping, I guess, the competition side of it together. Whether it's, yes, I work on my stuff every day, and we're actually building a new car right now and rebuilding our stuff from Florida and getting ready to go. And whether it's we all have our jobs. We have just basically Cody and Danny and myself. Cody does all the body work. He does all the tires. He pitches in what he needs to. Danny's our main mechanic. I handle all the shock stuff and the spring stuff and the setup stuff. But we all kind of make it work together. And then, my dad, anything to do with the engine or anything like that, he handles that stuff and, all the big decision making. But as far as, Rocket goes, whether it's me, pointing things out in the car, or whether we need to change something or move something or even help them, get a system together, whether putting a body on or whether making, changing something on the frame or whether they're doing something. It's like I always have my hand in something and just kind of making sure everything is going together as far as the cars go, and as well as trying to come up with, setups and stuff for our customers. More on the competition side of it is trying to keep our information out there for customers.
What's one of the things that I'm kind of curious after talking to your dad and listening to you talk about the setups and stuff, and the amount of cars you guys build and the amount of cars that are out there is who is on the phones? Do you guys have a fleet of like people in a room, or how is that information led over to the customers, or when they have a question they call in?
Most of the time, anything that we do, we come up with. Robbie and Derek are our two main guys. They're in our parts department, but yet they're both racers.
Yep.
And they handle all the tech stuff. Baker does as well, but we keep Steve Baker up to date on stuff. But most of the time, Robbie and Derek, easier for me to relate to them because they're racers and they understand and they can talk to people and figure out what they're trying to accomplish. And that's the biggest thing. And everyone wants the latest and greatest thing, but at the end of the day, it's a matter of each person individually has to make the decision and do what they feel they need to do. I guess at the end of the day, we can help them. Like this is our guideline. This is what we do. But it doesn't mean everyone's going to have the same results with the same exact thing. And we learned that with different racers and people jumping in other cars, and everybody likes something a little different. So we they do a great job of helping the customers and trying to get them, I guess their needs fulfilled.
Yeah. And you guys, I think, were one of the first to incorporate using what's called a notebook, the online, like where people can kind of go in and you have setups for, say, different tracks and so forth.
Yeah, we've done that. We've done that for a while now. But we've, I think now it's taken us a long time, I guess, to get, I guess, the information and just the race knowledge of, we go to so many different tracks, and, we've raced on over 200 tracks now. But, you go to so many different places, and you're in so many different scenarios, and it's so different. You try your best to help guys out, to help them, when someone says a track slick, if they're from the south, more likely the track's not slick.
Yeah.
Like it's not the same as a north slick. It's like it's different. Like if you're on 1350s, the track's not slick. If you're on 1425, the track's slick. And it's like different kind of things, and it's just you try your best to try to help guys and try to help them understand what it takes to go fast and I guess get the knowledge out there. And it's constantly changing. I mean, we're learning stuff every single day, and even with our new chassis, it's I was like, what, we're going to take everything we did a year ago. Well, you've kind of learned what we have or what we found, what we've learned.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as numbers and setups and stuff like that, I'm like, we're going to throw that out the window and just go into Florida fresh and just do what we think we need to do, and it worked out extremely well. But it's constantly changing.
Hey, when you said I had to crack up because Kenny Wallace is the one that told me, he's like, and as I've traveled around and you get to meet people and go to places for the first time, you always go in there and I want to hear your story of this or version, but I always have this guy that comes up to local and he's like, man, this place gets awfully slick here, slickest place you ever run. And
oh yeah,
I laugh because really for me, the slickest place I've run has been Darlington, South Carolina and Pensacola, Florida. It is on asphalt, but what is your story? Because obviously you go all over the place too. I want to hear what you have to say.
As far as slickness goes,
or just people coming up saying
stories from the locals.
Oh yeah, you get it all the time. You get most of the time, and the locals, it's like you turn to them for help, and you help them because a lot of times that whether they're on a certain tire or whatever the case may be, they can help you kind of try to figure out a place or whatever. But a lot of times they're like, man, this. You got to be in the bottom, this is right around the bottom, and then we go out there and they're 4 wide around the top or the middle, and because, a lot of times what I try to, tell customers is when you're in an area, most of the time everyone kind of averages out speed-wise, and everyone kind of follows, whatever the fastest guys are doing, everyone's going to follow that. So if a guy's around the bottom, everyone else is going to follow it since you're on the bottom, or whatever the case may be, overall speed or whatever. And anytime we come to a track, it's totally different, just with the experience and everything else, you utilize as much as you can. But you get all kinds of scenarios all the time. This is the slickest place or this is the roughest place, and I'm like, I don't even feel a bump out there.
Yeah,
that's the big. Rough is usually the biggest. You get guys, man, this thing's, it's chattering my teeth out, and I'm like, I didn't even see a hole. I mean, we've been on some extremely rough racetracks. I mean, extremely rough. This is nothing. Usually a little character in the track usually makes better racing anyway. So it's that's probably the biggest thing.
I love it. So you talked about that you're building another car right now. I'm just curious, with being affiliated with Rocket Chassis, how many cars end up being in the Josh Richards arsenal for the year?
We have 3 right now. We try to keep 4 just for the fact that you just never know. Like like now's our time to build cars, and then once we start racing, we really don't have time. Like we went to the last 3 trips at Eldora have ended with destroying 3 cars and not being able to use them again. So like last year we went to for the Dream and the World, we lost. It wasn't anything the track did wrong. It was just circumstance and got in the wrong place at the wrong time, and we were just we ended up coming home from that trip and we were a car short. We had to start the next trip, and we wouldn't have time to put it together. So we try to keep 4. That they're ready to go for the most part. If we need to, put a motor in or swap some stuff out or whatever, at least it's sitting there, lettered up, and we can, if we get in a bind, we can use one.
Hey, with traveling around all over and being on the road, this is going to be kind of an off the wall question.
Right.
Favorite racetrack you love to go to because maybe they have different kind of food, like you look forward to.
I used to eat a lot more concession food than I do now. I don't know. There's a lot of different places to get to. You just kind of look for different. Like we always liked going to Stremmes because they always had a really good concession.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even think. It's been so long. We always look forward to Volusia and Lernerville because the steak on a stick guy is there.
Yeah.
So we always look forward to that. But I can't even, off the top of my head, I can't think of anywhere because I try not to eat concession food unless it's something really good. But.
Yeah, and what I was looking at is like on the Cup schedule when we were traveling around, or you'd go to Kansas and you knew a restaurant you could go to, or say like the Steak on a Stick. You know that guy's going to be in Florida, and I was happy. I seen him at Portsmouth last year. I was like, heck yeah, this is great. But it's I understand most concession stand foods I don't want to eat either.
Oh yeah, no, we always look forward to good food.
And that tells me too your wife's a good cook then too.
She's a phenomenal cook. She does a great job, and she's always like, "I'm sorry, this is all I got." I'm like, "Man, I don't, you don't have to cook for me." She cooks these big gourmet meals, and she does a fantastic job at it. But
well, hey, it sounds like you got plenty left over, so I'm gonna come find you next time.
Dude, she made some homemade stew last night, so we got plenty left over. So.
Cool.
I love it. Well, Josh, I'm sure we will have you back on the show later this season, but we wish you the best of luck until then, and thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on here.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Up next, we have Ricky Thornton Jr. here on Slingin' Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires on MRN.com.
Slingin' Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there. Whether you're running on dirt or running a job, our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
Hi, this is Eli Gold, the host of NASCAR Live. You know, we've been taking your calls every Tuesday night for over 30 years, but now you don't have to wait for Tuesday to let us know what's on your mind. Call Motor Racing Network's fan hotline at 844-4-ASK-MRN.
The next time you talk to Dale Jr., ask him if...
Thanks for giving me this opportunity. What do you think of Chase Elliott?
Be a part of the voice of NASCAR. Call 844-4-ASK-MRN.
Donnie Schatz joining us.
This is Winged Nation with Steve Post and Kendra Jacobs.
The stat that just jumps off the page: 178 consecutive races without a DNF.
You know, now that it's something that you brought up, I'm sure it'll probably end that streak sooner than later. But those guys know the feel that I'm looking for in my race car, and they know that if I get that feel, that I'm going to be able to maneuver and try to keep myself out of trouble.
Winged Nation every Tuesday at noon, exclusively on MRN.com. This is Slingin' Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Welcome back to Slingin' Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires. We're the Stremmes, and we wish that you could join us during break sometimes, but it's probably not radio.
I don't.
You don't what?
Because then I couldn't goof off. So.
Well, sometimes we need to do that on the show. But anyhow, we have a guy who has had a stellar hot streak happening. He is Ricky Thornton Jr. Welcome to the show, Ricky.
Oh, thank you guys for having me on.
So a pretty awesome start to 2016. I believe is it 9 or is it 10 wins now?
10.
There we go. See,
I lost track.
I need better notes, apparently.
Well, he probably picked one up last night somewhere.
No, we actually took last weekend off to kind of get prepared. We run New Mexico this weekend, and we're heading to Iowa to stay out there all summer and try to run as much as we can.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that. I heard a rumor that you were packing your stuff up and moving to Iowa. What is that all about?
Well, my brother-in-law just bought a house out there, and I think there might be a little more opportunities out there to get to race a whole lot more. So we'll kind of go there and see what we can do during the year.
So being in Iowa, I'm assuming more IMCA?
Well, it's going to be about half IMCA and a half USMTS.
Interesting. I really wasn't expecting that.
Because Las Cruces is coming up. That's kind of a, what is it, USRA or USMTS race?
USRA.
So we have that this weekend, but I had been following you. You've won some really big races. Won a $5,000 to win out in Phoenix area. And I loved it because there's a picture the next day you're washing your car in a driveway, you know, and a lot of people think that Ricky Thornton, they're like, man, this guy's winning all these races, all this stuff. And I think it's so cool. You're racing out of, what, a two-stall garage?
Yep, just the garage we have on the house.
That's awesome. And beating big teams out there. So kudos to you. But with your schedule, so you've been out in the Phoenix area and you're going to Iowa. So do you want to lean towards more USMTS races?
Yeah, definitely. Like I know they kind of travel a bunch, so you get to hit a bunch of new racetracks, and for the most part, you can run 3 or 4 nights a week. So kind of be ideally to be able to do something like that full time.
So I'm just curious, does the brother-in-law's new house have a garage coming with it?
Yeah, has a 4-car shop.
Perfect.
So
Wow.
be a little bit bigger than what I'm used to, but I think it'll do.
Well, that's cool. So you're going to run some of that, and I knew last year you were the North Dakota Tour champion. Are you going to go back up there for it?
Yep, we plan on doing that again. They actually have a show this year, the night after. It's 10,000 to win. So I think they'll probably have a little over 100 cars this year. So how good we ran last year, I figured we might as well go run again.
Well, that is.
And it's doing pretty well this year so far as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's been pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy. I think you're
extremely humble.
Yeah, because you have beaten some very big teams, and I love hearing, Jason Bolio, who is one of our customers, kind of had where he's like, hey, you need to watch this kid, and I got to watch you there at Boone, and then have followed you since, and you have done so much with so little, and that's what's so great about it. And a lot of people, especially on the East Coast, because you haven't raced a lot here, and they're like, oh, you see this guy, he wins all these races. I'm like, you don't understand. It's just you and your wife that go to the racetrack, correct?
Yep.
And they go race. And that's what I love about it, because there's no other racing like it that it can be done that way. And even in the modifieds, it's very, very difficult, and you have been doing it. So you need to really stand tall on that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's like this year, be the same way. Me and my wife travel around. We actually finally upgraded our trailer. We went and bought a little 24-foot enclosed.
That is
So
awesome.
no more open trailer for us anymore.
Well, I'm hoping we can get you sometime on the East Coast here to go race at some of these places, and it sounds like it's going to be very hard because you're a busy schedule. But I know also during the Tucson races, you jumped in a guy's late model. You run second one night, wasn't it?
Yeah, the final night to Davenport.
Yeah. And
just to Davenport.
But that's what was so cool. I mean, and then some of the late model world, they're like, who's this guy here? I'm like, that's the guy everybody's been talking about. Haven't you been listening? But tell us about being in that late model and what it was like.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird deal the way it all went down, how I got it. One of my buddies was talking to the guy that owns it, J.R. Haley, and kind of threw my name out there because he was looking for another guy to run. And we went and tested. It was like, I think, Tuesday in the afternoon, and he liked all my feedback and all that, so he let me run it. So then the first night, we ended up making the main. I think we started like 20th or something. We drove all the way up to 8. So that night was real good. And then the next couple nights we ran pretty well. Then the final night, we started 6th, got all the way up to 2nd, and it was I think my first 50 lapper I ran in the late model. So I didn't quite know how hard to run. I didn't want to kill the rear tires. Well, I actually could have ran a lot harder than I thought because we got out and the tires looked brand new still.
Oh, wow.
But it definitely a cool experience. We're actually going to run JR's car again here in 2 weeks in LaSalle for the Fall Brawl.
Okay.
And then after that, he talked about doing some more big shows, so kind of wait and see what all we can do on that side of it.
Where is JR based out of?
I think it's Minnesota.
Okay. Well, the Fall Brawl will be a really cool race. That's kind of getting East Coast here a little bit. You're on the other side of Mississippi, but I just thought that was neat. You got in that late model and really turned a lot of heads. Is that a direction you want to go to, is get out of the mods and move to the late model field? Yeah,
I mean, I love running late models. If if I had the funding to do it, I would run one full time. So, I mean, it'd be pretty cool if I had that opportunity.
So schedule-wise, how many races are we actually looking at for this year? Because, I know how treacherous the USMTS schedule is, IMCA, and now you're going to throw a late model on top of it. I'm thinking like 100-some shows this year?
Yeah, our plan is to get over 100. My wife has been going through schedule after schedule, and I think it's like a little over 300 options that we could go do.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Wow.
So
You'd kill me if we went that far.
We definitely plan on hitting it hard and trying to run everywhere that we can.
Well, that is awesome to hear. I mean, you're living a dream that a lot of racers would love to do, to be able to pick out a 300 race schedule to go run.
That's insane.
With it. So with IMCA car and then going into the USMTS, is there a lot of changes that go into it or very little?
Well, like we have a different motor. We can run a big spoiler and different tires, and I plan on doing it all with the same car, at least to start off. And I'm actually getting another brand new Shaw car here pretty soon, so that'll make my life a little easier. Because I can have one open car and one IMCA car.
Yeah.
But setup-wise and all that, I actually run the same setup that I do for both series, and it seems to all work out pretty good.
Awesome. So I'm going to ask you, since you're racing, you race for a living, they have the big 40,000 to win in the Mississippi Speedway up there. It's the same weekend as what is the Boone Nationals. So have you decided where you're going to end up going?
Well, we're actually planning on going to Eldora with the late model.
Well, that's totally spun me out there.
That was
That's
not
awesome.
what either of us were expecting you to say.
That's awesome to hear, though.
Well, if we don't run the late model, I think we'll probably go to the Mississippi deal just because it pays so well.
Yep.
Even if you just make the show, it's $1,000. So, and I think we'd probably have a legitimate shot at winning the deal.
I'd say so too. I mean, that's what's interesting. They threw that race on. I knew about the World. I'd have never thought you said you were going that, which I'm very excited for you. But they also have the Boone Nationals, which is only 4 hours from there.
Yeah.
And I thought
like that only be. I think they said it's like 20 or 25 minutes for me. So it'd definitely be. Whenever it gets that time, hopefully we'll have a decision. We can kind of go wherever we want.
Well, I'm hoping you're running a late model because I really think you'd enjoy Eldora, and not too many people can say they can go get to race at the World 100. So it'd be a big weekend for you.
And that's even farther east.
Plus, they have very nice bathrooms in the infield.
Well, whenever we got married, my wife Savannah actually said what she wanted to do for her honeymoon was go to Eldora. So it'd kind of be perfect opportunity.
Well, that's sweet. Maybe I don't know what I'm going to do that weekend, and I've wanted to go to either the Dream or the World. Haven't made it yet. We're gonna, I hope this year, but I would definitely.
I don't think
go.
we're going to the World. I think we're going to Mississippi.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do.
Well,
I'm kind of like
not
Ricky.
the state
you don't
of
know.
Mississippi, but.
So you are coming to the East Coast some? You bringing that modified this way too, or just the late model?
Well, I'll have my modified with me, so who knows? Maybe we'll have to find somewhere close for both of us, and we'll have to meet up and go run together.
Yep. Or we'll just I'll tell Jason Bolio that we'll just grab his car and you can run it. We'll do. I know he was going to try to do that last year for Portsmouth and it didn't work out, but we can we'll twist his arm a little bit and see if we could do that.
Yeah, definitely. That'd work out good.
Absolutely, and I don't think you'd have to twist it real hard. He really thinks the world of you, Ricky, but we appreciate you being on the show, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again this year.
Well, I definitely appreciate you guys letting me come on.
Absolutely, and best of luck. We'll see you around.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Man, he is so humble.
He is. And, I don't know. I've learned, like I look at Jonathan Davenport, I've always said that I think he's very humble as well. He doesn't get out and beat on his hood of his car when he wins big races. He just kind of nods his head and waves. And
there's nothing wrong with
that.
There
isn't. I just think it's really cool that these guys are so humble and, they're just, they know they're truly blessed to do what they're doing and be successful.
I love, because in this world, auto racing world we live in now, it's very, very hard for people to get opportunities. I was very, very fortunate that a lot of people believed in me and helped me come through the ranks. A guy like Ricky, getting to drive that late model when he was at Tucson and just showing his talent. There's so many guys that don't ever get to.
Right, and they deserve a chance.
And it's hard, and I think that it's really cool. Not only even the series try helping out a lot of these the guys that maybe don't have the funding to go travel to an Eldora, and they put on a show, right in their backyard and able to showcase some of their local talent on a national level. So it's really cool.
Absolutely. Well, joining us next, we have Tony Jackson Jr. here on Slingin' Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires on MRN.com.
Slingin' Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
Luke Bryan.
Yeah, that's my kind of night.
Jason Aldean.
Let's get this thing started. It's my kind of party.
Florida Georgia Line.
This is how we roll.
Kid Rock. Lady Antebellum. Willie Nelson.
Mama, don't let you
So much more. Get ready for the first ever Country 500. The Great American Music Fest at Daytona International Speedway. Plus Little Big Town, Lee Price, Tyler Farr, Trace Atkins, and more. Memorial Day weekend, May 27th, 28th, and 29th. 3 awesome days and nights on the infield of the World Center of Racing. Stay in the campgrounds inside the festival. For tickets and information, visit country500.com. Don't miss Luke Bryan, Jason Aldean, Florida Georgia Line, Kid Rock, Lady Antebellum, and many more at the Country 500 at Daytona International Speedway. Sponsored in part by Budweiser.
NASCAR K&N Pro Series East opened up, and it was Todd Gilliland picking up the race win.
This is NASCAR Coast to Coast.
How do you keep it all in perspective? You're a 15-year-old. You got to be able to enjoy things at the age of 15 other than racing.
Yes, my mom makes sure that I keep my grades up. It makes it a lot less stressful to miss school because you can just do it online and then hand it in next day or at school. Teachers still don't like me very much because I still have to miss quite a bit of school. They understand it, and they've got my back.
NASCAR Coast to Coast every Wednesday at noon at MRN.com. This is Slingin' Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Welcome back. We're the Stremmes, and you're listening to Slingin' Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires. Now joining us, he won the biggest win. Wow, those are my notes from last week. I love it.
I was going to say, he's won a lot of big races.
He has won a lot of big races, and he just picked up a hellacious trophy. Looks like a toilet. For the Toilet Bowl. He is Tony Jackson Jr. Welcome to the show, Tony.
Thanks for having me.
So I just want to know, that toilet that was won this weekend, it's pretty cool wrapped, I must admit. But is it going to go in your house and be functional?
We'll probably just leave it out in the shop and put it next to some of that other stuff. It's pretty neat to get stuff like that. Just I know Williams always did that down there at his track, so it kind of sets him apart from everybody else, I guess.
Well, not only that, and it's funny because I met him up at PRI this past year, and he's an asphalt guy that got a dirt track, and he kind of made it a different trophy and called it that race. And actually, Fox Sports had picked it up; they'd seen the trophy, but to win that, not only you beat a lot of really good guys there. How does this set your season to start off? You got to feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, definitely. That's what, we've talked about that. It just seems like, you know how it is. Once racing's all about momentum. So when you can, start out like that with that, that's a tough track and a tough group of people to race against. So when you can start out have good success, it definitely pushes you towards the season.
It does. I mean, it's cool that to start out that year. Where is your schedule going to take you throughout this summer?
Just kind of where we're located and how we've always raced. We'll run that Mars Series and the MLRA Lucas Oil Series, and then we'll try to hit some of the crown jewels that that come fairly close to the house here. The TV races.
Well, you have 3 Mars championships already, so it sounds like you're going for the 4th, and you've started it off rather well with the toilet bowl. I still can't get over that. The trophy is literally a toilet.
You won that Shitter Classic. That's like, there's all kinds of names you can do. We got a little video or a little picture up of the. What color was your trophy there?
I think his was the red one, right?
Red. Yep.
Yeah.
That beats that purple one.
That's right.
And the trophy actually, you physically get a trophy as well as with the toilet, but it has toilet paper, an actual toilet paper roll on it, doesn't it?
Yes, I won the Friday night deal a few years back, and it was a plunger. So now I've got a complete setup.
Oh my God!
I would make that like the man cave restroom with all your winnings adorned in the restroom. It is definitely unique and really cool. But
is that the weirdest trophy that you have in your collection?
I would say so. We've got a pretty neat guitar that we won in Harrisburg, Arkansas, and definitely when people come in and out of your shop, they tend to go to that stuff like that instead of just that normal trophy. So it is neat. It's definitely a conversation piece.
For sure. And back to what I was saying, you have 3 Mars championships. I'm assuming you're going for 4, and this puts you at the top of the points already. Does this kind of take a little weight off your shoulders? I know this early in the season, it's like chasing a unicorn, but knowing that you're already on top, it's more of just being able to suffice the rest of the year and not have anything crazy happen to be able to stay up top there.
Yeah, definitely. In 2013 we ran Mars and MRA and was able to win both the championships, and they had some races that overlapped and just rainouts and everything just kind of worked for us, and that's what we're going to do again this year. I think that there's only 2 or 3 races that overlap, so we'll just dig throughout the year and see kind of where we sit there at the halfway point and see kind of where that takes us. But it's definitely hard to point race this early in the season, but when you can leave the first weekend with that much of an advantage, it definitely helps boost you on into the season for sure.
What does your weekly schedule look like for a lot of fans that don't know you?
Well, we've got a race shop here, and we've do a lot of sheet metal work and work for customers, and then we've built some street stock type race cars the past 4 or 5 years, and that deal's getting a lot bigger. And then we build some modifieds, not USMTS stuff by any means, but just some lower class stuff that people take and race weekly. So it keeps us really busy. We've got a good customer base, and we sell a lot of parts. So just kind of, our whole week is based around racing, and it's definitely a good thing that you can race 7 days a week, but it kind of sometimes puts your stuff on the back burner. So I was glad to come out of Clarksville running as good as we did, because my wife put a post on Facebook that she was glad that I did good, because I was so nervous, because when I left the house there, it was 2 or 3 nights in a row, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, just working on my own stuff after everybody else gets took care of. So, you got to make sure everybody else is took care of first and make some money, and then you can go play, I guess.
You're absolutely right. You gotta make it so you can play with it. But I want to talk about how you transition from from asphalt racing into dirt racing, because you weren't always a dirt racer. We're glad that you're on the dirt side of things, but how did that all come about?
Well, my dad raced dirt, and then they switched the track down here at I-44 Speedway where like Mike Wallace and Jay McMurray and Carl Edwards come from, and I just started racing pavement when I was old enough, and the track ended up switching to dirt, and we didn't have the money to travel or nothing like that, so it was either get a dirt car or quit racing. So some people here in town helped me get a car, and we raced around a little bit and didn't really have a lot of success. Didn't really have a clue what I was doing, and we went back to racing pavement and kind of traveling around. Real quick, I couldn't afford to do that, and ended up getting a modified, and it was actually the chassis company that I bought out now, that Allen Auto Sports, but Scotty Allen helped me get it modified, and it was his personal car, and he helped me. And I think I raced it like 9 times that first year and won 7 of them, and that just kind of turned the whole dirt deal around. Where we accumulated some sponsors and just kind of took off from there. And then it just seemed like the harder you work at it, the more time you put into it, the faster you got. So I just kind of buried myself in it.
Why? You also got a little girl, and she's always helping you in the shop. It looks like. How?
Yeah, as you know, you definitely can't do it without a good wife. So she, she supports it 100%, and she likes it just as much as I do. So our little girl Atlee, she eats it up. She's always wanting to go to the races, so she likes hanging out here in the shop. And when you spend that much time in the shop, they about have to come out there because it's hard to put racing first, so you just kind of have to merge them together.
Well, I seen you took her to the monster truck show. How was that?
That was good. She's kind of spoiled. She's seen him on TV and said she wanted to go see him. So that's about 2 weeks later we were there. But it was I'd never been to one either, so it was pretty exciting.
So this is not only fun for her, but for Dad too. So
that's right.
That's a double winner.
It's a win-win. Is there a future racer being born there?
Oh, I don't know. Her mom would say no, but she maybe she can just find her a boyfriend that races or something. That might be a bad idea also.
I just keep, most of them want to just keep it out of that racing deal and go somewhere else. But
yeah,
it's definitely addicting and a family thing, and that's probably the coolest thing about racing, as you'd said, your dad and then yourself. Where is it? Do you see yourself over the next 4 or 5 years? You talked about building cars and doing stuff. You want to grow that, or do you want to try to get to where you can travel more racing? What is the future look like that you want to try to do?
Yeah, I think that you always want to be good to your customers, and I enjoy watching them win. So that's definitely a priority. And for me, racing, we're right on the verge of, I've got really good sponsors, and I feel like we're prepared when we get to the racetrack. So it's just like we need that little extra step just to get to a national series. So I've always been leery to do that because, like we talked about, racing is momentum. So, you hate to jump off in something that you can't fully fulfill, and then at mid-season, be wondering what the heck you're doing. So, just kind of lingering right there. I would love to do a national series here in the next 2 or 3 years.
At least say you've done it, and then you can go back. So, hey, we're going to keep following you. We appreciate you coming on the show here. Congratulations on that really cool trophy and winning up there. And good luck to the rest of the year with you.
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. That was it not too many people can say they've won a toilet.
No,
for sure.
With a trophy that's, it's
I would have had to
unreal.
pass on that. I'll be honest. I'd be like, here, give it away to a fan or charity or something.
There's literally a roll of toilet paper on it, and you could actually use it in your restroom.
Yeah.
You can tear it off the.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, well, we need to get off the pot here and go to break. We'll be right back here on Slingin' Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires on MRN.com.
Slingin' Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
The Toyota Racing Team wants to take a quick moment to congratulate Kyle Busch on his 2015 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series championship that he won in the Camry. Don't worry, this will be as fast as Kyle in his Camry. How fast is Kyle? So fast he's won a ton of races across all NASCAR series. Plus, he's won 133 of Toyota's 332 NASCAR victories. He's even won 38 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series races in the Tundra. And now here he is, wearing the 2015 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series championship crown. So yeah, Kyle is really fast. We're proud of him and all the folks at Joe Gibbs Racing, whose teamwork made this win possible. Keep those checkered flags waving and take another victory lap in your Camry, Kyle. Good luck to all our drivers in the 2016 season. Head over to ToyotaRacing.com to find more info about the Toyota Racing Team and Kyle's journey to victory. Better get there fast before Kyle wins another race. Let's go NASCAR. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
Here comes the speed. Here comes the rumble. Here comes the crowds. Here comes the Auto Club 400 weekend, March 18th to 20th. 3 full days of intense NASCAR action.
3-car breakaway up at the front.
Plus live music, extreme stunt shows, and more. Here comes the vroom. For tickets and more information, visit AutoClubSpeedway.com or call 800-944-RACE.
This is Slingin' Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Welcome back. We're the Stremmes, and you're listening to Slingin' Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires. I love it.
We only have a minute.
I know we only have a minute, but the breaks are so good. So we've got some upcoming races for this weekend. The Melvin L. Joseph Memorial at Georgetown Speedway. It is the big blocks versus the small block mods. Port Royal Speedway's opener is this weekend.
Late models.
Yeah, and sprint cars.
Oh,
and also, the 6th Pelican 100 at Arc Latex has actually been postponed to March 18th instead of this weekend. The Carolina Clash is at Carolina for $4,000 to win. And the 3rd annual Tennessee Tip-Off at Smoky Mountain Speedway is
Smoky Mountain.
15
Wow.
G's.
Hey, the other thing is, too, make sure exercise your right to vote. Go out and vote here.
Here we go with politics.
No, that's all I have to say about it.
Okay, good.
So.
Good answer.
Yes. And the other thing is when you, as the racing season's coming up, social media is a great thing to follow on. Don't bash your track and drivers and so on.
Yeah, but tweet us some really cool pictures. We want to
Yes.
see them at Slingin' Dirt, no G, just apostrophe.
Or you can follow me at David Stremme.
You're hilarious today. Oh, my goodness. We are so thankful that you have tuned in today to watch, and we hope we'll see you next week here. Later today, you can find Slingin' Dirt in the Media Center or on MRN.com.
This has been Slingin' Dirt with Ashley and David Stremme. Listen every Tuesday at 11 Eastern on MRN.com for more news, interviews, and opinion from dirt tracks all over America. Slingin' Dirt is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.